Hi everybody, my name is David Thompson. I'm Solutions Manager at AVEVA. In this short video, I'd like to give you an introduction to AVEVA Asset Information Management, or as it was called before, AVEVA Net, in the context of our ability to deliver digital twins. So AVEVA Net, or AVEVA AIM, as I'm going to call it from now onwards, has 5 key capabilities. So the first is the ability to collect information together from different data sources and to join it together into a network of information, i.e. to contextualize information. And this is extremely important in the context of a digital twin because typically today the digital twin exists, but it exists in a variety of different formats, in a variety of different applications, and essentially it's very hard to use because it's not in one place, it's not searchable. The second key capability is, of course, the ability to search and find things. So there's a variety of different search tools which you can use to find, or you can use queries. And then, of course, our ability to display information in context is the third key capability here. So the ability to display information and show its relationships, or at least to be able to navigate between relationships, as a key capability in the context of a digital twin. And connected to that discovery ability is the ability to view information. So we talk about viewing 3D models, laser scans, photographs, and 2D content such as drawings, lists, diagrams, but that we've made intelligent through that ability to collect and network together through hotspots. And then finally, of course, it's the basis of many reports where we can use standard off-the-shelf reporting tools to create bar graphs, charts, show trends, these kind of things. So there's a variety of different ways, as I've just said, to find information in here. Let's just try an example here. If I type in pump and hit enter, we'll see here that we find 114 different things. This is finding absolutely everything. So you can see some of the things in here are pumps, some of the things are what we call data sets here. So here's data sets from a planning and material management system called MARS, which is now called AVEVA ERM. And some of these objects in here are logical groupings, such as a compartment or a system or an activity. So this really shows you the first level of information that exists in a digital twin of a ship, and that is simply a list of items. So a list of equipment and then the attributes which are associated with that. So this kind of information could be grabbed by importing a lot of Excel sheets, and that's typically how customers begin there, is by importing a lot of Excel sheets. And what we do in the import is we make them intelligent. So we join information together using the identifiers here, as you'll see in a moment. So let me just open up something here. Let's see, we had an equipment in here, and we'll see what information we've got. So each information, this is what we typically call the one-dimension data, has a variety of different things associated with it. So we have basic attributes here in description. We can see below here a 2D and a 3D view, which I'll come back to in a second. But we have here the attributes. So this pump has several data sets you can see there. It's only displaying 6 of 12, as far as I understand. It's probably 2 or 3 pages. But this is a typical example. So a pump will exist in a ship when somebody says, okay, we need a pump, and that's typically the ship owner who says, okay, we need ballast pumps or seawater pumps in this case, because every ship is going to have a cooling system of some sort. They usually specify the maker of it, and they know some of the basic parameters like what it's going to pump, the approximate pressure. But this pump then gets added to, for example, location, a purchase order, as we can see here. This is information from an ERP type system. We can see the drawing that exists on. We can see where it's going to be delivered. You can see information from a CAD system, so who's created it, who's owning the revision of it, for example. We can see here production information, so the assembly it's going to belong to. and here's that purchase order down the bottom. So this is a good example of something that has several data sets which have been imported from several different systems. We also create relationships when we import or collect the data together. So you can see here that this pump features on three different 3D models. So that could be a 3D model from the shipbuilding CAD system. It could be a 3D model from the equipment vendor, so the mechanical model, and it could be a 3D model from any other source, so a 3D model from a system integrator. And it also exists on this equipment list, as we've seen back here. We can also browse this tag, so this equipment here in a tag summary. So we can see here it's actually got 5 data sets from ERP, from the 3D model, from the CAD data, from production and from purchasing. It's a part of these logical groupings. So this is a cargo pump room, which is a compartment, and here it's a pre-outfitting group, which is probably equivalent to a work package in some way. We can see here what it includes. So it's a pump which has actually got 2 nozzles on it, but this could be a list of spare parts. And we can see here that this pump again is referenced in lists and the models, and that's what we've got here in related documents. Just going back to this, we can see here that there's a connection, or let's say there's a relationship between this equipment list and this item, and it's actually, we're able to automatically hotspot and highlight in the list where this pump features. So obviously this information has been imported, you can see here, with certain information that is now in a data set. And we've got, of course, the 3D model there on the right hand side. So creating a digital twin of your vessel, whether it's in the new build phase or if it's an existing operating vessel, is very easy. It starts with importing lists of equipment and items on board your vessel. But it can also start by taking drawings and the typical kind of documents that you receive. So this is quite often when a vessel is already operating and you don't have a new build going on. So you can say, please take all of these drawings and then import these drawings and create a digital twin from them. So here we can see the typical kind of hull drawings. This is a double bottom drawing. It's a general arrangement drawing. If we go back here, we can see these are all structural scantling drawings by the looks of it. We can see the types of drawings that we can import. This is a simple viewer here. I think it's a PDF viewer. And if we go back to, let's say, diagrams, we can see that these drawings can be made intelligent. So let's take this freshwater diagram. So this is typically what a ship owner, the captain of a vessel, needs to have in a drawer. So we've got here, it's a freshwater system from a small OSV. I'm not too sure about the logic of this, but just an example. And this has been imported from a PDF or from a P&ID coming from any kind of diagramming tool. And what we do is we pick up on the naming convention here. So 2 letters minus, and then perhaps another letter, and then 2 as a valve. And then an equipment here is 2 letters, hyphen or minus sign, and then 4 numbers. So that's the kind of patterns that we key in. And this is fully contextualized information. So we can take a simple drawing, we can import it, and we can figure out what's on it. And through the naming convention, we can figure out what it is. So this is a valve, freshwater valve 09. That's the naming convention. And we can see here again on the tag summary everything that's related to here. So it happens to be in a 3D model, but it could be that this valve only exists in here, and that we have the data sets related to it coming in from an Excel sheet. So it doesn't need to come from 3D information. As you've seen, there is 3D information. So when you get to a more advanced digital twin of a vessel, you may be able to get a 3D model, or you may be able to scan a laser scan of the vessel. So let's just take a look at the outfitting model here. And we're able to import 3D CAD data from any system. Of course, we do it directly from our AVEVA Marine or E3D tools. So you can see here, this is just the outfitting from this small demo ship that we've got. And I'm just going to highlight here that this is running without a graphics card. This is just using, it's running plugin-less HTML5 technology as far as I know. It is possible to run this using a graphics card, but that requires a plugin, which is not great for IT installation. So for small models, this is fine. You can see here it's streaming in the geometry as we move around. And we do have, of course, our what we call our AVEVA rendering framework technology, which runs in the cloud and allows you to view models of any size with very good graphical performance and very sort of beautiful graphics, if you like. So there are several ways of viewing information. So one form of the digital twin, of course, is just simply the documentations and the list of equipments that are in your vessel. When you have a 3D model, it allows you to navigate in a far richer way. So I can click on things and I'll see here what that equipment is called. It's a bow thruster, the bow thruster compartment. I can click on pipelines and see what they're connected to and see a variety of different information here. So this is the main exhaust, I think. If I navigate to that, we'll see that it's connected to two nozzles, and these nozzles in turn are connected to, if I browse through relationship here, piping segments, and it's part of the main engine here. So it's possible to navigate between things using the logic which is built into the system here in a relatively simple way. So of course the value of this is that we can then do things such as collecting items together in data sets, or we can do things such as queries. So the queries here are basically things for users to do on the fly. Let's just do pump again here, do a search. As you can see here, the query form is being customized. This is something that's an admin can create very easily based on the things in your data model. So again, the data model is fully configurable here. So you could search for an equipment based on the diagram that it belongs to. I've just done a search for equipment based on the name. As you can see here, I've got 13 different things which I can tab through here. So this is 4 pumps, but I can also view in a table, which is effectively a form of report. The difference is that this table is actually an intelligent one here. So you can see I can click on everything here. So let's just have a look what this thermal oil systems is. Okay, here, so it's some requirements or some Germaniska Lloyd, it's a bit out of date here. Requirements. So there's real variety of different ways that we can find and discover information. Of course, these query reports can be printed out, but the whole point is that this is an intelligent one, a dynamic one. This will update as you add things to it, of course. We can, of course, then create reports. You can just see some examples of here. And the difference is that reports go through a reporting tool that allows us to create graphs, pie charts, and any kind of visualization that we want. At the moment, I'm not going to show you these because the server is not set up to show the reports, unfortunately. So that's a pretty good summary of how you can create a digital twin. Start with lists of information, then perhaps import drawings, anything that you may have in a form that you can digitalize. Diagrams is a good example of that. Start to create the network of information between information that's on your diagrams, such as making it navigable between a pipeline and the equipment that's connected to here. So this was the main engine, and then ultimately bring in some 3D information, bring in some photographs, bring in some laser scans. All of this kind of thing is possible with AVEVA Asset Information Management. It's relatively easy to set up. I personally have experience of PLM systems, and they take months, if not years, to set up properly. Asset Information Management can be set up in weeks. You can actually get data in within a day and start to look at it and start to understand. But the key is actually the data model that you're going to build. And that's something that's very flexible and very easily customized or configurable in AVEVA Asset Information Management. We also have a version which runs on the cloud that has a template that's a slightly more restrictive data model because of the amount of configuration that we would need to support. So you really have a variety of different options there. So thanks very much for your attention for just now. And if you've got any questions about this tool, then of course, please contact your local representatives. And of course, you can contact me, David Thompson at aveva.com, if you've got any questions about this directly. Probably just need to mention that this is, of course, a system which is fully secured by user login and roles. I'm just a default user here, but you can, of course, control who sees exactly what with this tool. Yeah, I think if there's a need for a more detailed demo or a proof of concept, then please, of course, get in contact with us. Thank you very much for your attention. That's all for now. Bye-bye.